Up. There we go. Put it right here. Beautiful. Alright. And, let me get my YouTube thing straight real quick. Why do they keep showing me B-Star? B-Star, come on now. Alright. Sorry, copy link. We're gonna put it on the Discord real quick. I was trying to say that, but yeah. Alright, there we go. We're going to just put it here. Sorry, I had to put it there. Okay, we're good on that. What else am I supposed to do? Oh yeah, make sure that this thing is good, because this thing acts a little iffy. Alright. So yeah, y'all, okay, what is good, everybody? It is your boy, JJ That Dude, and we are back on some The Greatest Attorney Chronicles. We're gonna try and beat this game, or at least this adventure. I think we're on the second adventure of this, and yeah, we should be good in cooking with this. We'll see how it, you know, goes and stuff, but we're locked in on it, and we finna cook. So let's get ahead and join on that ride and continue on the trial, part 2. And beat this part of the game completely. 23rd of February, 9:23 a.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. I had a feeling there was gonna be some of that. Dang, why are you that close to my face? This man's trying to act like a cat. This guy's cooked. We know this. This is it then, Mr. Naruhoda. Yes, it's time to put an end to this now. To the miserable curse that has been plaguing Mr. Natsume. To everything. And in my own small way, I shall do everything I can to help you. I always appreciate your help, Mr. Sato. Suffering Sasaki selfishly sidelined. Ah. Good morning to you too, Mr. Natsume. I thought you were just being a cat today. Good morning? Good morning, local student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Listen to you two, trying to go away happily as if the main player of today's trial isn't here. Well, you're not the main character, buddy, so I can't help you on that, bro. I can't help you on that. You're not the main character here. You're not the main character here. Why would you do that? Why? Oh dear, we didn't mean to cause offense, Mr. Natsume. I thought perhaps that because you had your eyes shut so tightly, you were meditating, finding inner calm. I thought you were trying to pretend to be a cat. It seems wrong to disturb you. I was waiting. What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. Why, naturally. That's because I've attained spiritual enlightenment. The path of literature, you say, is a journey to discover one's own death. Or such like. That's the sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I had my eyes shut. Then why didn't you just do that? I missed the signs, I'm afraid, somehow. You'll have to forgive me. And you mustn't talk of your path leading you to death, Mr. Natsume. That was just an example! Oh yes, there it is. Inner calm. You barely came to see me at all yesterday. I was sure you had abandoned me and returned to our beautiful long-lost homeland. We've not even been to Great Britain a week yet. Yes, well, anyway, I intend to set everything straight in court today. I'm determined to uncover the truth. I've actually reached an important decision myself. Oh, what sort of decision? I shall fill you in after the trial. Alright. It would seem Mr. Sholmes isn't coming today after all. It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle on your own merits. It's a very clear message, I think. They overslept again. The great detective? My arch nemesis. Long may he stay away, if you ask me. Defendant, and your legal representative. Here's the thing about that, though. You're probably going to need him just in case something happens. Now, let me see. Do I need to examine anything in particular? Okay. I'm examining everything I need to examine. Make sure everything is examined. Do I need to examine anything in particular here? No. Perfect, perfect. I see the lines right here. I see the silent lines right here. Let's just have it up here just so we know. Okay, just make sure. Alright, perfect. We got that up here. We got this out the way. We ain't got to worry about that. And then, hold up. There we go. Just had to learn another name. Alright, let's see. Nothing here. We got these handprints on the wall. We got this thing here. And we got a hidden photograph. Alright. The trial is about to begin. Make your way to the courtroom immediately. Today, once again, we face the Reaper. And when the Reaper stands for the prosecution, the defendant's fate is sealed. But I don't believe in that legend anymore. I believe it's Usagi-chan's curse. The truth is hidden here somewhere, and I won't let it escape me. I have to keep believing in my client. Keep fighting to the very end. That's all. Seriously, I'm surprised this thing ain't the third trial in like the beginning stuff, but I guess they wanted it to be, I guess, a little weird with it. 3rd of February, 9:40 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. And oh yeah, by the way, I will let this be known. I don't know if I'm streaming this, if I'm going to stream March Rumble tomorrow on Twitch or on YouTube. So I might make a poll and ask, should it be on YouTube or should it be on Twitch, and then see how it goes. So I will do that. If you would like to join my Discord, let me know in the comments so y'all know. Hey, but I love that lady over there. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. Indeed it do. But I ain't gonna lie. Look lovely as always. Let me see the dude of the alibi, bro. Let me see him, though. Where he at? I call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. Yes, the defense is ready. Very good. And now I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, chosen by lot to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed? Absolutely. Justice will be done. You mark my words. I feel obliged to say I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat is sitting just right. Oh, well, I wonder if you could just adjust my hat for me. And please, be as ruthless as you like. Oh, that man just get that thing down. Thieves deserve to die if you ask me. Especially gas thieves. I have no sympathy for the man at all. Look, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again now. I don't have time for this. I've got my own problems. Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here and lead his flock to a righteous verdict again today. Amen to that. Now, Lord Van Zeeks, what can you tell us? The prosecution's report, please, for the court, in relation to the theory expounded by the defense yesterday, regarding the defendant's tea. So he does have the results. Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the blackguard in the dock. Pray allow me a moment to savor a liquid of a more sanguine hue. In fact, I'll defer to the good detective for the report. Here's to you, Inspector. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. As indicated by the defense, we found a bar of soap just outside the victim's window in the snow. And there was indeed a frozen reddish liquid in a little depression on the top of it. Yes, that's the tea. That's what Mr. Natsby brought with him that night. Well, the brains at the yard analyzed it, and yes, you're right, it was tea. And there wasn't a trace of the or any other toxic substance in it. No poison at all? In other words, the tea the defendant brought with them to the victim's room is innocent. It's in the clear. So yeah, we got that good. So now the question is this. Well, about the tea in particular, not the tea, but like how the poison got to him. That's the question we have to think. What a revelation! As I suspected, this makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mr. Sasaki Natsume, is blameless here. Okay, go ahead. Alright, to talk then. My learned friend is jumping into conclusions again. A typical Nipponese reaction. What? Why do you hate us so much? Yes, it's true no poison was found in the few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the window ledge. But, what logic is that? Would you take a drop from the Thames and conclude that the water in the ocean isn't salty? Well, the ocean is supposed to be naturally salty. I mean, it's the ocean, but okay. My word! The water in the ocean is extremely salty, Counsel! Exactly! Unfit for drinking, just as the victim's tea was on the night in question, as the court has already heard. Bitter was the precise words from the lips of Mr. William Shamspeare, whom the prosecution now calls back to the stand. Thank you. Let's call him out here and see if he caps more. Like, if he caps more, congratulations, we cook him. Very well. I will uphold the prosecution's request. Mr. Shamspeare. Yes, it sounds like we're going to have another conversation with our theatrical friend. Bailiff, show Mr. Shamspeare to the stand. I hate this guy. Mr. William Shamspeare, the victim of this despicable crime. Oh heaven, oh hell, do you come to remember? Command me to remember? Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspeare, did have a bellyful of the foul fluid given, in mine innocence. You're innocent? That's cap, but okay. Yes, but as it was revealed in yesterday's proceedings, the witness is not as innocent as we had perhaps first been led to believe. By using bars of soap such as this, he's been stealing gas from the supply company, yes. Alright. One may smile and be a villain. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspeare, did have a room full of the sweet fuel given. That's right, fellow jurors, don't forget, this man is a rotten thief. I haven't forgotten. Kept all that about the ice coins a tiny secret agent. Should have owned up sooner. Arrest him, I say, arrest him at once. Let him feel the sting in my tail. And I say, look, baby girl, I understand. Quimpy, I understand. But let's wait until we finish the trial. Once that trial's finished, beat the dog out of him for all I care. Oh, indeed, by dint of vile and cowardly means have I plotted to further my own ends, I confess. Thou wouldst not pardon my sins, of that I am sure.
If you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here?
Cowards die many times before their deaths. And for a coward such as I, death be well deserved. But would it still be a greater crime, passive unpunished? For lo, thou hairy-faced gentleman of farther east than Verona did contrive to poison me.
He never did. Can you stop dancing before I drop kick you to the next end of the earth? Look, if it was me, I'd hit him with a kick.
Objection!
But there was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police have attested to that. But the defense would assert, as an inconsistency, will quickly be cleared up by the witness's testimony.
That testimony is all nothing but a sham and phony. That man literally thought he was going to win a competition against the man himself, who was dressed up as a girl, and he got dogged on by Juliet. Or was it Hamlet? I think it was Juliet. I forgot. I think it was Juliet, though, yeah.
Is that not so, Mr. Shamspeare?
Verily, my liege, I would most gladly speak.
Okay, can you stop dancing, though? Very well. Let the witness testify to explain its inconsistency. And stop dancing in my courtroom. Tell the court why it is that poison apparently entered your body, though none of it was in the tea.
The tea inconsistency. Let's go. The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. It was in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Whilst feigning distraction in our debate, near did a drop of his own drink piss his lips. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Thus, 'tis no surprise that poison be found in the tea I did pour in the molds of soap.
The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. I mean, this teacup says it all. I mean, that's all I'm saying is that teacup. Like, look at this teacup, y'all. What is this man smoking on? Because there's lines of tea here. He drunk, so someone drunk it. And as it says, there's no tea ring inside Mr. Natsume's cup. So he drunk his. He drunk his. The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for poison to be administered, in my experience. Quite. Otherwise, it would be disastrous if the poisoner were to mix up the cups, for instance. But no poison was found at the scene. Because, quite simply, the Japanese took the bottle back to his own room. The absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide. I knew that. By now, it should be perfectly clear. A bar or two of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands.
Sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shamspeare, be a common thief of gas. But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, be better than what?
Wherefore would I lie? Verily, I have no cause of not to lose. Well, I do declare.
Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. I think we already know what it is.
But I'm gonna read it though. Hold up, give me a second. Let me save it here real quick just so I don't forget. Probably should have put it for the other one, but no, he couldn't do that. No, he couldn't do that because Lily,
Objection.
no, it was he broke his thing. Like, what are we doing, bro? There's no tea ring for Mr. Natsume's cup at all. Like, what are we doing here? You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea on the night in question, and that you used the tea that was left in his cup to make your fake coins. But that's not possible. How? Topologic? What is this, ye dark, ye glad fiend? The two tea comes from the seed, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant. Have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof. I can't say it right. Incontrovertible. I can't say it. Incontrovertible proof. There you go. Incontrovertible proof. There you go. I'm sorry. I can't say it right that quick. Incontrovertible. What difference? Look at the insides of the cups. Just here, there's a clearly visible ring. Yes, a tea ring. Commonplace enough. Indeed, such a stain occurs all too readily when one leaves the tea in a cup for a while. Indeed, that's right. But what he's not saying is that the tea ring is for him, not for Mr. Natsume. His was the purple, not the green. And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring. Good Lord, you're right. It's completely clean. Upright, sir. What makest thou of it? Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday. Japanese saying he quoted. Drink? Tea? Well, it's hot! Bingo! That's right! Yes. The jury, Mr. Natsume, was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. If, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well. After the several hours, the tea was left standing. But this man drinks the tea while it's hot. That's what every Japanese man is said in this quote. I rest my case, Your Honor. He ain't got that. But, in short, Mr. Shamspeare, you clearly lied to the court. Get thee to a nunnery.
Objection!
This man's capping too much. I can't trust this crap. As a rule, I filled my hallowed chalice up to 7 times during any one trial. You might want to keep that information to yourself. Yet on occasion, tedium distracts me, and I pour more times than I intended until the bottle is dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating, but irrelevant. On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shamspeare, a sham, just like his livelihood should be. Yes, my liege? Though you previously stated that you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused cup. Could it be that you were perhaps mistaken? Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left at the scene? A fact that had vanished from your memory until now. Faith, my liege, thou art a magician. No, stop with this crap. At this point, I promise you, if I was in the court and I made one mistake, they are beating me up saying, nah, bro, you're in hell for contempt of court for some stupid nonsense like that. This point, Why are we believing this crap? And who the heck, bro, what's my phone doing? Bro, this game used to be off the nonsense though.
For verily, 'tis as though thou hast seen with thy own eyes that night.
What? Bro, I hate when prosecutors do that dumb nonsense, bro. You out there capping for them.
Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use the tea for the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, it was empty. And thus did I use the dregs that festered into the teapot, as my liege did suggest.
Objection!
And you just suddenly remembered now that you've made a mistake before? Are we supposed to believe this?
Objection!
No, shut up! No! Are we capping here? People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. Yes, but bro, it took you doing it, not him. He didn't say, "Oh crap, my bad, I made a mistake. I meant to say this." He laid it when you said something. I'm sorry, that is immense cap. Like, why are we doing this every time? But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us two things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put in the oh my god, hold up. My bad. Firstly, that the poison was put in the victim's teacup only. And secondly, that this spoilt cup was not the source of the insipid ice coolers that have bewitched this court. The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts. Furthermore, the testimony remains valid in full support of the established facts. In other words, the inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. No! Since I cap, what does that mean then? To declare it means there's no issue with the gas thief's testimony. Far from the bit about the thieving gas, obviously.
My lords and ladies and the gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear. After I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery alehouse that night, naught did pass my lips but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back be stooped as low as death.
And on what did you dine, sir?
Why, I did partake of my favorites, a broth as wouldst be thou called soup, and a leaf as wouldst be called salad.
As and what the heck is these words? As insalubrious, okay, as insalubrious a menu as the establishment where it was served.
But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. Willingly would I suffer what punishment 'tis seeming fit to serve a wicked thief of gas, but I pray ye wise and noble fellows, ne'er forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another. Jurors all, your humble servant Shamspeare doth entreat you, punish the Japanese fellow for his sins.
My lord! If I may speak, my lord. Yes, Mr. Foreman? I believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer. Okay, please tell me, you've been in the case trial multiple times, like 2 times at this moment, 2 times. Technically 3 times, in fact. 2 or 3 times with me in this courtroom. How am I going to dupe you? How am I going to dupe you? By me? Bro, what? That's how I know you're trash LA talking.
I do declare you may be right. We all know the waff there was making coins of ice to keep himself warm.
This lawyer lad said that he's still a guest. He deserves a dose of poison, eh? He's been leading us up to the garden path. That's what he's been doing. I really never said anything like that, dum-dum, but okay. But what we just heard from the victim there has opened up our eyes again. No, not what the victim said. What the daggone prosecutor says was meant to say. We reached a decision at this time. We won't be swayed from it. The court acknowledges the position of the jury foreman and will duly hear their jury's findings.
What? No! You can't yet.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your decisions now.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
They're all man.
The old man don't even be hearing crap. He can't even say nothing. Get another guy out here. He just says,
okay, and then just sits there. Bro, get him out. I hereby declare the jury to be in one accord.
oh, happy day. I will drop kick your sorry off the stupid town stage. Stop dancing. How's this happening?
My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination. Very well. The court upholds the defense's right. Typical. My learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth.
And didn't I save your butt one time in that one case? You should shut your stupid tail up.
This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime of which he is charged.
Man, why that man looking at the left? Everyone's looking at the right way except the other dude, but that's fine. Those guys are fine. Just Bruce Fairplay's out the other side. I'm a man of logic, me. And having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty.
Okay, so that man might not want me to present anything on him or say anything to him at the moment. So I can't do much about that. Alright, so we gotta deal with, let's see.
I do agree that the gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would avoid paying.
Okay, two makes sense.
The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal. Gases.
Okay, we might have to press something around those lines, maybe.
Gas doesn't come free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes.
Maybe. Okay, we might have to. Actually, no, we might press that one. We need to explain about the gas a little bit more.
Truth be told, the team my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times.
Crazy.
If nothing else has the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there?
Okay, we go and press, I think we want to press 4 or 3. And go over there. I do feel that perhaps personal opinion about gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat. But never mind. No, you really should mind.
The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we hope. As Mr. Shamspeare was poisoned, there could be no doubt of that. Then how are we supposed to turn this around?
Can this thing up here? Oh my. My phone me. Okay, there you go. My phone has to do that. There you go. Perfect. Gotta make sure it's good. There we go. Play right here.
I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamspeare was actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly. But that's surely almost impossible at this stage. If we don't manage it, though, Mr. Natsume will be found guilty.
No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination.
You are finished, you phony, you sham.
We said we could press those two, but we're supposed to press this one or we're supposed to press 3. I'll press both of them. If this doesn't go out there, give it up, then I'll do press 3 and see how it goes. Okay, let
Hold it!
me ask you something, ma'am. Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas?
There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you hadn't noticed, against my company's gas. Am I supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so.
She's really buzzing now.
All I've heard about our wonderful field is explosions and poisonings.
Yeah, just like that guy on the left side said.
What about electricity, What about getting electrocuted? What about that?
Looks like you're good. Okay, go ahead.
A little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison.
Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable.
My point exactly, but the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know.
More devious? Who, madam?
Other gas companies, of course.
Other gas companies?
Not quite what I was expecting. We generate gas and we deliver it to our customers fair and square.
Indeed, nobody is questioning that, madam. Alamont is an exemplary gas company.
But there are others, unscrupulous gas companies here in London, that don't even have any gas at all.
What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to the people?
You wouldn't think it's possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell that.
They steal your gas? How on earth is such a thing possible?
Gas companies like ours deliver gas to the people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract with the household supplied by those pipes, and take money from the precious gas that's rightfully ours without us even knowing. They're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally? What a brazen form of theft! When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from their meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies have been up to its tricks.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3?
Oh, golly, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself.
I really did catch him off guard there. Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying, correct?
Well, yes. I just got a little riled up about it recently, you see?
Go on.
An all-about gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipe work. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in, you know, and do you know what he did?
I'm afraid I have no idea. Please tell us.
He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it. What do you think you're doing, good man? You're giving away company secrets there. Oh, please, everybody knows. But it was very nearly the death of me, I can tell you.
What do you mean?
I'll explain if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network.
Yes, but how does blowing into the pipe come into it?
Obviously, there's a gas in the pipe at a fairly low pressure. By blowing the air in through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment.
Ah, I see. In other words, if upon blowing into the pipe, the light in the adjacent property that has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels has been meddling with the pipes.
Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have a team of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker. The trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might, and you can guess what happened, can't you?
Well, if he blew hard, then... Wait, you mean...
That's right. The lights didn't just flicker, they went out, along with the stove. Gas started pouring into the house. What a disaster. Indeed it is. The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went out. I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Are you trying to kill us all? I said. So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamp and stoves to the same pipe. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room. Now, Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps, yes, there's almost certainly the clue we've been hoping for. Juror number 3. The defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information. Oh, well, if you like, I don't mind. Well, I do. That's our company's secret method of identifying the rogues. And like I said, madam, it's widely known already.
Very well. Juror number 3. You will amend your statement accordingly.
Yes, my lord. Although I'm not really sure what the point of it all this is.
Alright.
Okay. Gotcha. Alright.
Objection!
Let me talk to you.
Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Good gracious! To whose statement do you refer, counsel?
Juror number 6. Did you hear what juror number 3 just said? Tell me, do you know what he said? What? Yes, of course. I heard her bubbling up about something or other.
There is another explanation I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did, in a manner of speaking, pass the victim's lips on the night in question. What? What explanation? I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall light at the scene to see if there was any trace of poison there? I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time. But the mouth of the gas pipe? Scotland Yard have enough to do without exploring such irrelevance. Then that means it could happen. You just never explored it. Hold it.
What a piece of work is a man.
What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspeare?
What speakest thou, prithee? Is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir. Run my fade.
Bro, you lost a daggone Sosaki Natsume. He dogged you in a girl's outfit. You have no room to talk about fighting, bro. I'll square up with you right now. I thought I'd been quite clear, but let me put it in another way. The 9 could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came into your body. Good lord! He's cooking! Are they tasting them? The gas pipes? Is that what he's saying?
Or is it the gentleman suggested that the poor man was so desperately hungry he tried to fit his whole belly with gas? Perhaps no actress would perform a kiss scene with him. For shame, madam! Speaking thy fancy! I assure you, I am not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes!
Objection!
This is no summation examination. This is a farce. The prosecutor will not stand for any more of my learned Epinesis friend's conjecture. Do they have proof? To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to have placed his lips to the pipe that feeds it, he would have been a contortionist. These are empty assertions. There is no possible proof that the man did as you say. Oh yeah, there is. What proof is that? This right here. He was up on the thing. Then that means someone else had to be there, and as he said, no one else was there. So he had to say it. It's true.
I have no proof that Mr. Shamspeare put his lips onto the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamspeare has been doing something in front of that lamp on his wall. Well, lampstand on his wall. Now, evidence to prove it. Yeah, so let's fix that little wand thing you got there, your little crown thing up there. And get rid of that thing too. Take that thing off, take that Shamspeare garbage off, and do something else. Alright, you've got our attention, lad. I like to see how you can be so sure of yourself. So would I. Let's see this evidence then. Now that I got the jury's ear, I need to make this opportunity count. This is the proof that time and time again, Mr. Shamspeare stood in front of his gas lamp.
Take that!
What the? These are, wait, what are they called? Yes, skid prints. They were found at the scene.
Skid prints, Counsel? I've never heard of such things. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in the courtroom, however.
My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective Mr. Sherlock Holmes. It reveals all the places that Mr. Shamspeare touched in his room.
I've never seen anything like it. That's black magic, isn't it?
Well, if anyone could invent something like this, it's the great Sholmes fellow, that's for sure. I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating. We found skid prints in the many places that you would expect. On the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shamspeare also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here.
Around the hanging picture there. Indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible.
Well, I wonder, could he have been appreciating the artwork that, perhaps? Ma'am, here's the thing about that though. Why would he do it that close up with his hands up there? He could have just been looking at it like this. It looks pretty good. At first, my colleagues and I thought the same. However, imagine standing with your hands where the prints are, and you would find yourself directly in front of... Ah! I don't believe it. The gas lamp. Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamspeare has regularly been standing with his hands to the wall in front of that lamp.
Right. What have you been up to, you nut?
I'd ask the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement. Me? What did I say? Or what did I say? You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the light in the entire building flicker. And now, if you will, recall juror number 3's statement. What, me now? Bro, it's okay, you're good. I'm just going off what your statement says. When the gas worker who visited his home blew with too much force in the pipe, it caused all the lights in the gas stove to go out, and gas started to leak into the rooms, and he said, "Are you a nut? Are you crazy?" And he started yelling. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is, if Mr. Shamspeare were to have blown hard into the gas pipe here in his room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will. Crikey! Are you suggesting that the man purposely caused the gas to...
Objection!
I mean, it makes sense that it happened. But what are you going to object? Whilst I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination, I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law.
What is the meaning of this, Lord Van Zeeks?
This curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, the so-called skid prints. They are here. Clearly, that cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case. Well, the people see the evidence clear as day. The people see the evidence right here. They see it. They know what happened. But but it's an exciting new forensic technique developed by a great detective.
It's nothing. A mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands. What? Certainly even research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Sholmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence.
Hold it!
Please, my lord, if I may, Pizzato, it was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wish to present the results of the great detective's investigation of the scene as a tool by which to explain possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has now seen. I don't believe we can allow that to happen. I'm as sure as the jurors would agree. I gotta have to agree. She kinda cooking. You're right. Whether those strange handprints are significant clues or not, it's down to us to decide.
Juror number 3.
Oh yes, I do declare the great detective's investigation results sound absolutely fascinating. I want to hear what that shady actor fellow has to say about those shady handprints.
Put that up a little bit. There you go.
What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy.
Well, I did say it, didn't I? I don't like to break a promise.
No, wait! You heard his lordship! It's not a fair thing.
No one cares. Shut your mouth. It's tied now.
Oh, well done, Mr. Narhoda. If just one more juror changes his or her mind, Mr. Natsume's trial will have to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Sato, but I couldn't have done it without you.
Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This is very much your success. No, I can't let them do this to me. I'm trying to cook. I can't cook if they keep doing this to me.
Why, Mr. Shakespeare? You seem to be losing your composure.
Just one more juror, Mr. Narhoda. You can do it.
Very well. Continue, Counselor. Okay, so interested. Is these... Okay, is these... So it's wood? Or anything else? Okay. What's up then? All the evidence, you say? Let me ask you then. Let's see. Alright, let's see. All the evidence, you say? That's right.
And there's no room for doubt. It all points all to that Japanese man with the big mustache.
Says the English man with the bigger mustache. Alright, anyway. But the defense just demonstrated another possible explanation for the events on the night in question. What do you make of that?
What? The so-called skin prints? It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique developed by the great detective himself.
The numerous handprints on the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And Mr. Shamspeare had indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe on the night in question. It can't be denied that there's a possibility that's where the poison was.
Well, yes, I won't deny that it's playing on my mind.
But as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides, yes,
even if the fellow has been up to some mischief with the gas pipes dozens of times before, it doesn't mean that he's gotten into the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it?
Oh.
If you can't make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance. You do make a very valid point, sir.
What?
That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty.
No, wait.
Look, you've got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory. Through your Japanese cohorts can, that is.
Just leave our nationality out of this, please.
Narhoda, if we can't substantiate our position, I'm afraid the jurors that change their minds before may change them well back again.
What can I do? Is there more proof I can give here? Can I show Mr. Schaefer really did blow it? I have a supporting testimony. No, in truth, I don't have evidence that support my theory. However, there is witness testimony that I can't say the word right. Substantiated. There you go. I'm just gonna shut up. But substantiates it. There you go. That's all I'm gonna say. I have to say it slow though. What's that? Testimony?
This is incredible. Whose testimony?
Yes, it's all connected. Everything is linked. Person who can, bro. Obviously, daggone my bad. Sasaki, bro. It has to be Sasaki Natsume.
Take that!
Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant, Mr. Sasaki Natsume himself. The defendant? At the very beginning of the proceedings here in the court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following.
My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings. Even on that fateful night it happened. When I returned from Mr. Shamspeare's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into the bed, but before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me.
That makes sense. On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out. And you know, every time when it goes out, there's a reason how it goes out. And we have two people that vouched for it. One of them especially. Said the man blew on the thing way too hard, and that thing messed up the whole house. They opened up the gas in that thing. So I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not?
Good golly! So that Shamspeare fellow blew air into the gas pipe to make the man's stove go out on purpose?
Hold your horses there. Why would he do that for?
This guy's cooking!
Mr. Foreman! What the? What is it, man? We cannot allow judgment to pass whilst, this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have any conclusive evidence yet. That's true. However, you must surely agree that there is more to this case than meets the eye. You are kind of cooking there, lad. You are cooking. Fair enough. Like I said at the outset. Look at my phone. I'm a man of my logic. First and foremost, I'm Bruce Fairplay after all. And I'm the foreman after all. And you're kind of balling right now. I ain't gonna hold you, Chad. You're kind of a Chad out here. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put not guilty for right now. That's 4 jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord. We've overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue. You know that man saw it. He's like, objection! This is garbage! As the defense has rightfully indicated, the summation examination has concluded with the majority of jurors altering their decisions. 2 jury members now called guilty, and obviously it's the daggone, like, the girl. Like, it's like the girl and then it's the, what you call it? The person, so yeah, they got that. 4 now called not guilty. Therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted, and in accordance with the law of this land, I hereby order the continuation of this trial. Mr. William Shamspeare.
My lord, how could thy humble Shamspeare serve thee? Shut up!
He just gets smacked the entire time. How dare you do this in the courtroom? Shame on you! And he just starts beating him up. That's what I just wanted to see, honestly. What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination?
So God mend me, I do solemnly swear. I recall aught of either the lamp or the pipe.
Okay, then, can I ask a question then? Who was there then? Was anyone else in that room?
No, only the man.
And unless that man did it, that means he should be poisoned, if that's the case. So how'd you get poisoned then? But your handprints have made a tiny mess all over the wall there. How do you explain that, eh? I am done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied enough already. Juror number 5. Who, me? Man, shut your stupid tail up, boy. I ain't playing with you. As I went to some pains to point out already. A prince from the self-professed detective's toy has no place in British court of law. As such, whether or not this man indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains at this time unestablished conjecture. You would all do well to remember that.
Objection!
Man, shut up! No! Stop! The prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeding that lamp in Mr. Shamspeare's room to be examined. And if there's trace of poison there...
Objection!
Why you objected that? What appears to be extremely simple is my Nipponese friend's mind. Oh, so it's hard to do that? If that's hard to do that, then you shouldn't even be a prosecutor, my buddy. You shouldn't be a prosecutor. But recall that in order to check for the presence of the poison in tea, some remnants of tea were required. Dude, you don't need the tea to get that. See, why are you trying to object to me trying to figure that out? Are you the killer? Like, bro, relax. Makes no sense. Like, what am I doing here? Yes. Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if poison were to have been spread on the pipe, it would have been completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible. Oh, I didn't think of that. That's true, I didn't think of that. In any case, counsel, I fail to see what could possibly have motivated the man to do as you described. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air into the gas pipe work where he lived? There's only one possibility that I can think of. That is, to use the leaking gas to commit murder.
How would I do that?
Order! Order of the court! Counsel! Precisely whose life do you propose this man was planned to end?
Obviously the one person that could have been there. What they could be smoking on? Sir, it's not rocket science. It's Sasaki. Dude, it's him. There's only 3 people in that room. Sasaki, William, and John. And John has the best room possible. That's his room anyway. He's got the best room possible. William is here, and he's here. It makes sense why he would want to get rid of him. I'm like, come on. This ain't rocket science. The answer couldn't be simpler. Because look, he's been trying to body people because he wants that room. He went to the other room. He said, you know what? I'm fine with that. So he's right here. He has the reason why he wants to do it. Now we've unraveled the mystery this far. Shamspeare wanted to end the life of obviously Sasaki Natsume. Let's get out of here. If a gas lamp were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course. But a gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without any noticing. I live around those parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can tell you, trying to sleep without the stove lid is pretty much suicide. You'd freeze to death in no time. Mr. Garadeb, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his residence on the top floor, so he's fine. He wouldn't have to worry about anything, so he's fine. In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamspeare was trying to end. Good, outrageous, good lord! I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Yeah, look at me. Look at my face, buddy. I want you out of here. Once this trial's over, I need you put to jail immediately. Mr. Natsume isn't the villain in this case. He's the victim this man was trying to murder. Good gracious. hey, works out for me.
Objection!
The accused is actually the aggrieved? Interesting. However, the fundamental fact of the case remains unchanged. Namely, that the accused is the aggressor here. No, he's not. Do you want to why? He has no reason to do it. He has no motive. That's one. He has no motive. He wasn't trying to. He's always getting killed by random items and random objects around. And he's been surviving this long, so honestly, I'm gonna keep it sack. You gotta blame it on him.
What? How can you still claim that?
Let's indulge your fancies for a moment and assume that there was indeed poison on the mouth of the gas pipe. The question then that arises is who put it there? Who did put it there? The only logical conclusion is that the person responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply and his intent to kill. Oh, thanks for reminding me, sir. Let me ask something. There's someone that did know about it. Because remember Duncan Ross died and yeah, Olive Green, you know. Yeah, so I'm gonna say Olive Green if you give me that answer, so that response. So don't do that, because I will put her name up there. So don't do that, because I'll put the name up there instantly as day. Yes, that would indeed seem logical. If the assailant were unaware, how would he or she have known to lace the end of the gas pipe with poison? So now we must ask, how could anyone have known of Mr. Shamspeare's murderous designs? Ah, you mean to suggest... Naturally, the sole possible answer to that question could be more obvious. Only the man whose life was being threatened could possibly have known. That's true, but at the end of the day, why is he going to kill him? And plus, I don't even think he has poison. What? I don't even think he has poison like that. In other words, the person who put the poison in the gas pipe in what was a clear retaliatory act or attack can only be the accused, Mr. Sasaki Natsume. Ah. Whatever Mr. William Shamspeare may or may have not contrived to do, he was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could have possibly perpetrated that attack is the accused, Mr. Natsume. The defense counsel's theorizing has failed to avert suspicion from the accused. Far from it. In fact, now there's a clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established. Okay, now at this point in time, I probably cooked, but I know who it is though. I'm locked in. That suspicion is greater than ever. Would you not agree, my Japanese friend? I'd be like, you're right, but I already have someone that would already did it. Wait, what? What do you mean? Obviously, there's a woman that hated him. Congratulations, you played yourself. Okay, yeah, he got that. Like, I say, right. Wait, I got answers. Alright, try to fix that real quick. How did he manage to turn that around on me so rapidly? Mr. Naruhoda, you must respond. Otherwise, the members of the jury may well change their leanings against us again. This may be our last chance to gain the advantage. You're right, you're kind of cooking a little. What advantage? Well, it would seem that someone put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shamspeare's room. So we must name that person now and absolve Mr. Natsume of guilt. You mean, name the true culprit? I know it might sound impossible, but if we fail to do that, I have no doubt that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed once and for all. As it happens, one possible culprit does come to mind. The evidence, the poison, it all comes to that particular person because she has poison. The prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leading again. And I trust you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Corbin. What? Oh, don't you worry. We don't exactly want to shut your mouth. It's my turn to cook. You had your chance to cook. This is my turn. This is the Ace Attorney round. Let me talk to you. There is one other person who I believe could have been involved in all of this. The true culprit of this crime. The true culprit! A term found only in the second-rate novels, featuring third-rate and third-rate great detectives, my Japanese friend. But why not? This farce has gone on for so long already, I see no reason to cut it short before its disappointing climax. Thank you. Tell us, my deputy's friend, who is your latest theory? What is the latest theory? Who's the so-called culprit in this case? Miss Olive Green herself has a motive because her boyfriend or the love of her life had got killed. By an accident. You're welcome.
Take that!
Get her out here. The name of the person responsible for the poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspeare is, I believe, Miss Olive Green. Miss Olive Green? Miss Olive Green? I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past, Counsel, but I don't recall where. Miss Olive Green? The woman from 6 days ago? The victim in the recent case of stabbing on Briar Road? An incident for which Mr. Natsume was arrested, I hasten to add. Oh, of course, yes, Miss Green. She was left in a comatose for some 3 days, I believe, but I hear she's regaining consciousness 2 days ago. And I hardly need to remind the court that Mr. Shamspeare's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Given that the woman was lying comatose in the hospital bed at the time, she would appear to have a rather fine alibi. Yeah, she would if she didn't poison him beforehand. You think she can't do that beforehand? Why do you think she was on that road? Because she has a letter. Where'd the letter at, though? Because there's a piece of this letter taken off. Where's that letter at? I don't know where that letter's at. Where's that letter at? Please, where the letter at? There's a letter around. Where that at? Because he wanted to meet somewhere, please. I didn't grab it? Like, what we doing? It's true. On the night that the incident occurred, Miss Green was in the hospital conscious. So on the face of it, it would seem she couldn't possibly be responsible. But still. My colleagues and I have visited Miss Green in the hospital yesterday, and we found her to be in possession of a bottle of poison. Good gracious, she had poison! And there is another fact that links Miss Green to this case as well. The defense requests that she be brought to the witness stand in order to explain in the details to the court. Tell me, Mr. Shamspeare.
My lord, pray what be thy bidding?
Are you acquainted with Miss Green?
No, I never heard of her. Judging by the look on Mr. Shamspeare's face, I think perhaps he generally doesn't know her, at least not by the name.
Well, I will say this though, Your Honor. They have been talking. We've seen them talk. So he knows her to some degree, just not the best degree that we think of at the moment. As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. We will see my learned friend's farce through to its conclusion. I appreciate that. The prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order to subpoena the witness and bring her here. Yes, Miss Olive Green. Indeed, my lord. Dude, as I said before, I hate Shamspeare. Hate him. I want to drop kick him to the next, shadow realm if I could. So I've already said it. That's why I have to thank Title Lily says, get me away from Shamspeare. I hate that dude. 1 hour should be sufficient. Very well. I grant the request. Excellent. I hope. The defense has made a most extraordinary accusation, I must say. But yeah, I hate that guy. Because I hear him say another Shakespeare line, I want to choke him out and just throw him somewhere. Or drop kick him. Every time I see him do that stupid dance, there's nothing I like about him. But at the present time, I feel the prosecution's argument remains largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defendant and its culpability remains the sole subject of the court's attention. Thank you, counsels. We reconvene in an hour. Court is adjourned. Hey, I'll give you some water though. Alright, there we go. Yeah, we're gonna keep it going though. We're gonna keep it going. I told you we're gonna keep it going though. I'm gonna give you some water though real quick. Y'all give me a second though. But yeah, I'm giving 23rd of February, 11 a.m. The Old Bailey's Defendant's Antechamber.
Joyful, jubilant, jumping jacks! Oh, Mr. Natsume, I'm so pleased for you. Locum student, Mr. Arhoda Esquire, and non-locum judicial assistant, Miss Bikatopa Esquiress. Now, finally, at long last, there could be proof. Proof that I'm innocent and proof that my tea is innocent. Ah, good morning, my dear fellows. I'm here in the clutch now.
We just needed you a bit earlier. If you came a little bit earlier, the case would have probably been over. But we still needed Miss Green anyway.
Ah, Hairlock Sholmes! May you drink my tepid tea and fall forever silent. I thought the tea was innocent. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you came. How wonderful. And I ain't gonna lie. For you talking about Mr. Sholmes, he might save your life here, so you might want to shut up. Please save your derision? Like decision it is derision. Yeah, please save your derision. I know what you're all thinking. Good morning, he says, when it's fairly nearly time for luncheon. Your scorn is written clearly across your faces. Nobody said or thought anything of the sort. The truth is, I was determined that today would be the day. As sleep seduced me last night, I thought. Tomorrow, for once, I shall not oversleep. I'll rise early and be present in court, support my companions. Such spirited determination has a beauty all of its own, does it not? Oh yes. And then I began to muse on the subject. Why do people oversleep? I queried. Why, time after time do they make the same foolish blunder? And the answer came to me at once. It's so delightfully simple. People oversleep because they sleep.
That's a basic theory right there.
Well, is that not an astute insight into the matter? Oh, yes. Which upon realization, I attempted an experiment. I didn't sleep a wink at all night. And the result, by first light, I was exhausted and began to be assailed by fits of drowsiness. Shocking. And so, the conclusion of last night's experiment is this. A good night's sleep is quite simply essential.
Dang, man. Dude, I ain't gonna lie. You're so much of a scientist. We need to make you a president, bro. Your inventions are great, though, but yeah, you need some inventions, though.
Yes, I think most of us probably do that already.
I probably haven't. I'm not gonna hold you. I probably haven't.
What other presuppose I proved by experimentation? That, my dear fellow, is the scientific method. Ah, yes, and one more thing. Do you remember this? Ah.
Yes, of course. It's the poison that Miss Green was about to drink at the hospital yesterday. Oh, you didn't manage to...
It was a laborious task, as the bottle was nearly empty, but such inconveniences do not hinder Sholmes. I managed to confirm that it contained the strychnine.
So I was right.
Perhaps, though, of course, some circumstantial evidence doesn't prove Miss Green's guilt. I shall leave the bottle in your care now, but licking the inside of the neck is not recommended.
Okay, thank you. I'll take it.
Could I have a word?
Could I have a word?
Gregson, how good of you to come.
Forget it. Excuse me.
Wait a minute, Inspector! Get back here! I, don't wish to make a nuisance of myself. From the look on your face, I'd say it's someone else who you think is making a nuisance of himself. My dear Inspector, please speak freely. Pretend that I'm not here. Believe me, if I could do that, life would be a whole lot simpler for me. Do you have the results, Inspector, of the investigation of Mr. Shamspeare's room? Not yet. Shouldn't be long now, though. No, I'm here about something else. That dead convict, actually. Oh, you mean the man from the newspaper article we discovered yesterday in Mr. Shamspeare's room? We really haven't got a chance to use that yet. Ah, a man by the name of, yes, Selden. I went through the archives at the yard and dug out the fellow's files. There's something in there. Well, it caught my eye. Something caught your eye? What, Inspector? What? I've copied out the relevant parts for you, so you can read it for yourself. Thank you. Alright. Capital offenders file. Finish the court records. These documents... Okay, we're reading this garbage. I told you. Look at this. So, this is the poison we've been hearing so much about. Cyanide. There are a few remnants of the bottle. Look here. Hey, look. Must it be tempted to try it? Of course not. As long as we don't lose this trial. Don't think about suicide, Naruhodo. You got this in the bag. I believe in you. No, even if we lose the trial. No, we mustn't lose the trial in the first place, Mr. Naruhodo. Make your mind, Susato-san. Yeah, make up your mind, please. We gotta cook either way. I barely see any poison. But they have better ideas about it. Alright, let me see. Okay, let me see. Investigative findings related to Selden. Alright, so 18 counts of burglary, 6 counts of suspected murder. Dang, you kind of a criminal with that thing. Died of natural causes whilst in prison. His final moments witnessed by only his cellmate. Understandable. Estimated £1,000 worth of loot he stole remains unrecovered. Interesting. And then that's this one right here. And then that's just the regular one. Alright, perfect. We'll do something with it. Included details that were in the newspaper cutting we found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. I'll rearrange everything in the court record so we don't have to duplicate information. Why are you giving us a copy of this important file, though? Well, you're the ones who turned up the clue in the first place, aren't you? I'm just making sure that things get handled in the proper fashion. Oh, Scotland Yard's work are so wonderful. Indeed, my dear fellows, and the inspector here is a shining diamond in its crown. A shining diamond? And the rough, maybe. Look, I just don't want to be beholden to a lawyer. That's all. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court proceedings are about to resume. Make your way to the courtroom at once. Well, I shall leave you then. That's what I meant to say. I'll be listening with interest from the public gallery. Not nodding off at all. Certainly not. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. You probably are going to go to sleep, though. I understand. I'm rather tired of seeing Mr. Mustache in floods of tears, personally, so the best of luck to you. Look upstairs, Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire! Get rid of him! Yes, Miss Natsume? It's time, isn't it? Yes, this is it. Miss Olive Green and Mr. William Shamspeare. This is going to be the final battle. Once and for all. I won't really have to save Sasaki's side until I've exposed what's the whole truth of what's going on. That's been going on. I gotta explain the whole truth of everything, though. That's the point. But it's all coming to a head now. You can do it, Ryunosuke. You have to. I have to believe in myself, because if I don't, we are cooked.
Let's go. 23rd of February. 12:30 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. There we go. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again now. Before the recess, we heard a most startling accusation from the defense, namely that the victim of this case we heard here only a few days ago is the true perpetrator of this incident. A reckless, rash, and prejudiced charge of wrongdoing, in my opinion, my lord. However, the prosecution has tried to extend every courtesy to this amateur newcomer from dubious eastern shores. Thank you for that backhanded consideration. A rather cold assessment from the honorable British prosecutor, I must say. So, Lord Van Zeeks is the new witness present and... Oh, is the new witness present and ready to take the stand. So I meant to say, but hey. Ready and waiting in the witness' antechamber, my lord. Very well. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I'm surprised they ain't crashed out yet. Witnesses, state your names and occupation for the court, please.
William Shamspeare, my liege. For mine occupation, I can say only that I be a tragic victim to be pitied.
Currently unemployed, in other words. That man is a clown.
I'm Olive Green, a fledgling artist. Well, no, not a fledgling, really. A hopeless failure who's too weak-spirited to admit that she has no talent, I suppose.
Also currently unemployed, in other words. Wow, both useless people. That's kind of tough. What a go-to. Mr. Shamspeare.
My lord, I am thy humble servant.
I'm afraid that you are no longer merely the victim in this affair. The possibility has been raised that you are in fact the assailant intent on taking the life of your fellow lodger. The part you have played in this whole business will be thoroughly scrutinized, I assure you.
I would for naught else, my lord.
And Miss Green.
Yes?
You are aware of the reasons you've been summoned to the courtroom, or this courtroom today, I presume?
Yes, the officer did explain. He said I poisoned this ridiculous buffoon. Yeah, I did.
But hey, perfect drawing there. And do you accept the charge, Miss Green?
I don't know anything about any poisoning.
Your Honor, I'm gonna cook her up so bad she's not gonna want to come back to this trial again. She might be staying in that jail for that long time. Look, man, we already got the poison. We already know what kind of poison this is. We got that on the stage. We got hold up. Where's the thing at? We got this mentioning about a certain poison of this. We got that going on. And you're kind of cooked. And we got motives of why you would do it anyway. We got the photograph here. So honestly, at the end of the day, you're kind of cooked, buddy. You're kind of cooked. So we got evidence. So you can't just roll your way out of this one. You can't wish your way out of this one.
And I don't know anything about this man.
That's a whole bunch of cap, but keep capping. Keep capping. I got evidence.
Come, lady. Die to live. Verily, I know not thy prickly, pea-pigmented personage.
Yeah, that's facts though. I got all the evidence on deck. My evidence is in my pockets. I got evidence on deck. This woman cannot cap her way out of this one. She can't cap her way out of this one. She definitely cannot. And the handprints as well. To see the other stuff, because she knows about stuff. So, hey, she got it cooked at the end of the day. She got it cooked. I got this down pack. The only thing that I can question or say is how. Okay, the only thing that I need to find out and prove though is how Olive Green here was able to put the poison in this room. Did she? There's three things I can think of. One, that floorboard that was underneath the thing. I don't know. She could have probably actually. I can't say she could have flooded the floorboard. That floorboard is too big for her. I'm sorry, I can't even say that. So she went in here somehow. She must be a pickpocket, or she must have went through the that door thing. Yeah, that door thing. She might have went through that door thing. Like on the back, opened the pieces. I can't even say that either. She can't fit that either. She makes it hard because, man, come on. How does it work? Did she actually open the door? Yeah, she actually might have. Wait, could she have broke the door? She could have broke the door. Because the door was looking kind of broken. So yeah, she could have broke the door. She could have. Maybe. Maybe broke the door down. Got up there. Put the thing in here. Went from there, maybe? I don't know. That's the only thing I don't know yet. That might be a problem. Is that I don't know how she got in the thing. Other than that, everything else is down packed though. We know what to do. Very well. Let us proceed with the matters at hand. That being to ascertain whether or not Miss Green has any involvement in this affair. It's all very strange indeed. Why would you suspect me? I barely even go to the East End anyway. Ma'am, the second trial, actually no, my bad. The third trial of this literal game, I'm assuming, or was it fourth? I do not remember. But you were literally the person that got bodied. You literally had a knife that got hit you right in the back, and you fell down. Why? Okay, then my question is this: why the heck were you here the first time? Why were you here the first time? Is the question. You say you barely go there. You went there that particular day. You can't hide and cap about this. And hey, Clay, how you doing though? And you better be ready for Among Us if you're gonna make it, because 5 or 6 people have to be in there for anyway. Mainly 6 in particular. So I'm letting that be known to you. Like, I'm letting that be known. If not, I'm playing another game. I'm letting y'all know that. It so happens I passed by that neighborhood 6 days ago. That's all. That's immediate cap. Oh, you talking about the thing? It'll most likely be around 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. Which I'm about to put that on the thing. After I finish this thing, I'm gonna let people know it's gonna be around 7 or 8 though. But it'll be p.m. Eastern Time Zone. And 6 people gonna have to be there though. That's the problem though. Because it's not gonna be all that good if it's just, 4 people. So there have to be some other people out there. And on the night that this man was poisoned, I was still in hospital, fighting for my life. Yes, having been unfortunately caught up in the incident on the street outside the Garrett household. Indeed. An incident that rendered you unconscious for some 3 days. I was struck in the middle of my back by a knife, through no fault of my own, and now I'm under suspicion? So yeah, at the end of the day, I'm keeping it a sec with you though. I don't think you're gonna be there for it, Clay. I'm gonna keep it a sec. I don't know if you're gonna really be there for it. Rico, I know, would be there for it. Kayla might be a little iffy case scenario, but I don't know if you're gonna be there though. That's the problem, and that's another problem. So unless people go bring them out there, I probably can't play Among Us. It's going to be another game. Whether it's Marvel Rivals or Master Duel is up to the thing. So I will say that. What other irrelevant things might I be suspected of? It's all very disturbing. Your energies may be better spent worrying about the random knife's attack, I feel, Miss Green. At this point in time, all that appears to connect you with Mr. Shamspeare's logics is the Briar Road incident of 6 days ago. That's why we would like you to testify formally now about exactly what happened. Oh no. This is 6 days ago? You mean you want me to relive that awful accident? Sadly, yes. Unfortunately, yes. Please tell the court what happened that day. And of course,
We will be interested to hear from you about your movements that day too, Mr. Shamspeare. But what happened 6 days ago has nothing to do with me being poisoned. Shush. I want to hear everything.
Let us proceed then. The witnesses will present their formal testimony to the court.
And yes, it's part 20 because literally there's 2 different versions of this game. So I had no choice but to do it.
So I got that though. On the subject of the incident that took place on Briar Road that evening, or the evening, of the 17th of February.
The evening of the 17th of February. Let us begin. Who next just texted me? Oh, a person from another thing. There we go. It was 16. I mean, oh my god. I'm thinking about 16, like the 16th day, bro. I've been having to say nothing but 16th day every time. Of the 16th of every day. Like, dang. Alright. It was 6 days ago. At about 5 p.m., I was walking along in the snow when I was suddenly stabbed in the back. Indeed, that's true. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where the men, in this case, have their lodgings. Okay, I'm surprised that paint could be stuck on you. It was at the tavern of the eve of which thou speakest, for I had bespoke my supper. Okay, I might need to press that, because we did see a letter. And it might be her letter. It was the first time I had been in the area. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all. Anyway, I was admitted straight to the hospital, so I knew nothing about all this business. Yeah, pressing 3. I'm definitely pressing 3. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm pressing 3 for sure. Pressing 3 or 4. But mainly pressing 3 though. Okay. Yes, a second incident inside a week at what I believe to be aptly described as the haunted lodgings. One can only presume that this is a most unfortunate coincidence. Meanwhile, you say you were not in your room, Mr. Shamspeare? It was the following morn, when I did awaken, that I learned of the dire events. Mary, what a commotion did the officers of the law make on the floor above mine. Sasaki-san was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. As suspected, there is nothing connecting these 2 witnesses by hapstance. It's true, it does seem as though they're unrelated at first glance at first, but I'm not so sure. There's something lurking in the shadows here, I feel certain of it. If this is my one only chance to expose it. Counsel, you may now begin the cross-examination, or you may now cross-examine these witnesses, if you wish. Yes, my lord. I don't really need to say 2 witnesses. They're just witnesses, bro. They just might as well be. I want to press you on this, sir.
Hold it!
A tavern, you say? Which one? It was the Slugget Salad where I did tarry. It's a jewel in the East End. Yeah, she said she had a daggone letter about that, so we got that, but she ain't saying nothing yet. Okay. And a little unexpected, I feel. What do you mean, Lord Van Zeeks? The Slugget Salad offers unusual fine dining for the locality, at least. Not an establishment you'd expect to be patronized by a man with not a crumb of bread in his room. Okay, fair point. Huh? It's true. The menu lists premium crust of bread and glass of waters and different levels of cloudiness. I would have expected grubbery in the local city to be more appropriate for your means. Watery soup and mushy peas, or rather soupy water and pea-like mush. All equally appetizing. I just went to try some water in a different pub for once. What's wrong with that? How different can water really be? Or perhaps there's a more plausible explanation. A specific reason why he had to go to that particular establishment. Agreed. The fact that on that day of all days he dined at the place he wouldn't normally, it does stand out. So Mr. Shamspeare owns actions on the day of the incident 6 days ago were slightly suspicious. I wonder if we have some evidence. Okay, now I don't think we have evidence at the moment that says anything about that yet. I wish we did, but sadly I can't think of anything at the moment. If we find a clue that could explain why Mr. Shamspeare went there, we must present it to the court. Yes, absolutely. If that's all on the matter, if that is all on this matter, counsel, I would ask Miss Green to reiterate her next statement. Crap, oh. There we go. Press that one too.
What little matter, Miss Green? Please elaborate.
It was nothing really. It's not worth mentioning.
If you remember, you mentioned it to us yesterday at the hospital.
Ah.
It was related to the card you were holding. Miss Green. What was that? She was clearly just hit something from back. Why did she just instant? If she wanted to do that, she could have just done it instantly. I don't know why she just kind of. I guess she didn't want to get caught slipping. From memory, I believe that the card contained a note that read, "I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross."
What does that matter? This has nothing to do with Duncan.
Excuse me.
Let me talk to you, sir. Mr. Shamspeare, do you have something to share with the court?
To be or not to be? That is the question.
Of course you're gonna say that garbage Shakespeare nonsense. You don't get to say it!
You suck. Ah, pray forgive me. The great bard's words speaketh or springeth from within me with ne'er a thought.
Don't tell me it's because you possessed by Shakespeare's spirit, right? Hearing Miss Green's words a moment ago seemed to make you think of something. Something of relevance, perhaps?
Well, nay, sire. 'Twas nothing at all.
Presumably you know the name, though. Mr. Duncan Ross, I mean. After all, you were both lodged in the same house.
I would it were so, but sadly nay. Lodging be a lonely occupation, sire. My lodging fellows be rarely known to me.
Man, heck no, I don't want to hear that garbage. That seems like some cap. To tell me then, sir,
why you got this letter for? Why you got this photograph here, huh? Why you got this photograph, huh? You had this photograph. Yeah, of Duncan Ross and, John Garrideb. Explain that, sir. Explain that.
So you haven't heard of him? Even though he passed away in the room just one floor above you? Yeah, come on, talk. Miss Green.
Me, my lord? What, have I done something wrong?
The card that was mentioned before containing the note, do you have it upon your person?
I do, yes, but I don't need it anymore. In fact, I should throw it away, really.
Before you dispose of it, the court will take it as evidence, please. Of course, that's what links Mr. Shamspeare and Miss Green. Let's grab that. Do you remember where we found this torn off piece of paper of envelope? Piece of envelope? Yes, of course. It was in Mr. Shamspeare's room. For some reason, it suddenly started to bother me. The way it's been ripped. I feel like, oh, bro, can I please see it?
I wonder if it could be this you're thinking of. The envelope in which Miss Green's card name.
Yes, that's it. Try putting it together. Let's see.
They go perfectly. They go together perfectly. This torn off end of the envelope clearly belongs with this card.
You think I need to worry about in particular? Yeah. Yeah. It's Duncan Ross. No, continue with their testimony, please, Miss Green. So do I have to go back to that previous statement I went to? Maybe I need to press 3 again, because I didn't have evidence at the first.
Hold it!
So let's go ahead and circle our way through. Okay. Okay, let's present some evidence, because we do have evidence now. Mr. Shamspeare.
Yes, sire.
On the day in question, is it not the case that you visited the Slug and Salad in a place you don't normally patronize for a very particular reason?
I don't know what you're talking about. Pray, if thou hast a purpose, speakest.
Stop dancing and farewell. Like farewell. I need to go farewell out of here though. I ain't hold you, but very well then. I will present the court with evidence.
Take that!
I believe this card reveals the answer. Good lord, Miss Green's card you mean? That's right, my lord. It reads, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Mr. Shamspeare, your actions on the afternoon of Miss Green's stabbing are exactly as described in this note. Personally, I find it hard to believe that that's a coincidence. Don't you, Mr. Shamspeare?
Well? Excuse me, can I say something?
Yes, Miss Green, of course.
That card was delivered to me.
I don't want to hear that, Cap. That's nothing but a whole bunch of phony, bro. I know you probably wrote this nonsense. I don't want to hear that. That's a whole bunch of phony nonsense. But y'all give me a second. I'm gonna be right back. But why does woman try to cap so much, bro? Nah, bro. Cap. There we go. My bad. It doesn't have anything to do with this odd man, does it? Yes it does. Well, you'd think so, yes, but it's hard to believe it's merely... My lord, may I? May you what, Miss Green? I'd like to make something very clear about that card. Very well then, you may amend your testimony to include the details of that particular note. Alright.
Objection!
I rest my case. Like, what are you doing? The day before the incident, exactly 1 week ago now, this note was delivered to your address, supposedly, right? And upon carrying out the instructions in the note, you found yourself in the hospital. Yes, I did. That's terrible. It's terrible. Everything that happened to me. Yes, it is terrible. If it's all true, that is. What do you mean? Miss Green, have a look at this, please, if you will. It's the torn off end of an envelope. Oh, is it? Indeed it is. And it so happens that it fits together perfectly with the envelope of the note you received. Well, where did you find that? You want to know where I found that at? I found that in the man right there beside you room. In Mr. Shamspeare's room. In my room? Indeed I have. Mr. Shamspeare, do you perhaps remember this note from somewhere? Well, your actions that afternoon followed the instructions in the note to the letter. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on 17th. So that's exactly where you went. Let me ask you again, Mr. Shamspeare. You already knew about this note, didn't you? And you, Miss Green. What did I do? As this torn off end of the envelope proves, the note was originally in Mr. Shamspeare's room. So how is it that it came to be in your possession? I don't have the first idea. I'm just a fledgling artist after all. There's only one explanation. You broke into Mr. Shamspeare's room and stole it. You good? You did what? Sorry. Thou hast what? You broke me. Thou were in my room? What on earth do you want with me? She's like, I don't care about you. I'll smack you if I have to. It would seem that both witnesses need to testify again. Yes, so she did break into the room. Okay, makes sense. Miss Green. Yes? Whilst you have the court's sympathy, I'm sure, for the suffering you have endured in the recent events. Anyone found to be giving false testimony in a court of law will be duly punished. Please bear that in mind. Yes, I know. Very well then, witnesses. You will give formal testimony again now. On the subject of the curious anomaly regarding the note Miss Green claims to have received. I do remember now. It was a week ago, peradventure, that note was delivered unto me. On the day writ therein, I did tarry a long hour at the Slug and Salad, yet nobody came. Thereafter, on the evening, I shared the company of the Japanese fellow. I did see the note had vanished. I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I? I can point out the villain here, and as that torn off piece of the envelope, I don't know anything about it. Dude, you could have used the poison. You went in there. Why would I go into the room? Poison. There's poison in there. So, like, you already got cooked there just by saying that dumb nonsense. You now claim to have received this letter. Do you, Mr. Shamspeare? Faith, 'tis so, my lord. And I would swear to have set it upon the table in my humble lodgings. Yet 'tis clear to me now that since I returned from the tavern that night, I have not laid eyes upon it. Well, that being the case, young lady, it would appear that your testimony was a lie? Is that what you think? How unfair of you to think I'm the one lying. I beg your pardon? I'm just a fledgling artist, as I said, and fledgling artists don't lie. That note was delivered to me at my address. Besides, we all know who the liar around here is. Well, both of you, but right at the moment, he ain't lying at the moment. If that is true, Miss Green, how do you explain the facts? This part of the envelope was, without question, found in Mr. Shane's room. I don't see why I should explain. Sorry? I'm a fledgling artist. My job here is to just say what happens. That's all. Is that your only excuse? Pick a disability. Like, are you a liar or are you a fledgling artist? Pick a disability. Go from there. What are we doing here? It's your job to give the explanations and the proofs. You, the fledgling lawyer. Fledgling? I'm gonna cook your sorry tale up. I got evidence on deck. I won't even give you the time of day. The fledgling will do his best. Evidently, my learned friend's cross-examination is our only hope of learning the truth. Well, counsel, I'm ready, my lord. I'm gonna end this woman's career. Very well then. The defense will now proceed with the cross-examination of the witnesses. Miss Green clearly did break into Mr. Shamspeare's room. There can be no question of that. That's how she acquired the note. Yes, two facts that are starting to lead me to a possible explanation for all this. It's not a pretty one. Yeah, definitely ain't. But we already got the answer. So just take me to the fourth one. I'm gonna say poison. At this point, she's cooked. Shush. I don't want to hear nothing. You're cooked, baby girl. You're cooked. Stop capping.
Objection!
Stop capping. No, you used poison. Yesterday at the hospital, we saw you with this bottle. And though the contents spilt during the course of our meeting, a small quantity remained. According to the defendant's independent analysis, Mr. Sholmes' chemistry set, the liquid that was still in the bottle was identified as strychnine. What? Strychnine? The very same poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspeare? Miss Green, you broke into this man's lodgings for one reason and one reason alone. To cover the end of the pipe that feeds the gas lamp into Mr. Shamspeare's room with poison. You did that to me! What'd I do to you? Can this be? You broke into my room! It may seem incredible to the court, but from the remaining clues, there's only one logical conclusion that we can reach. This person who attempted to take Mr. Shamspeare's life with poison was you, Miss Olive Green. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dearie. Me! Yeah, boom. Dang, you just... Order! Order in the court! Counsel, are you seriously suggesting this woman put poison on the end of the gas pipe with the intent to kill? Yes, my lord. There's no other way to explain the facts. But if Miss Green did indeed set this odious trap 6 days ago, and the victim had put the mouth to the pipe that very evening as expected, the intended murder would have been 6 days ago, surely. Well, that's a very good point. Perhaps not, my lord. I beg your pardon? There's a significant police presence in the area that evening on account of the incident on Briar Road. Local residents were being interviewed throughout the night as a part of the ongoing inquiry. A circumstantial criminal would have chosen not to carry out any wrongdoings at that time. Lord Van Zeeks? And of course, the following morning, there was more activity at Mr. Shamspeare's address. More activities? Ah, yes. You mean this fellow lodger, Mr. Natsume, being arrested on suspicion of murder? That's right. And as the defense has already proposed, Mr. Shamspeare was meddling with the gas in the pipe for a very sinister reason himself, to cause the gas stove in Mr. Natsume's room to go out, thereby, I don't know how to say that word right, asphyxiating the occupant? I don't know. I can't say the name of it, I don't know how to say it. But once Mr. Natsume had been arrested, his room was under constant surveillance by the police. In the circumstances, Mr. Shakespeare had no reason to blow
air in the gas pipe. His intended victim being in the prison cell. With the need to tamper with the gas removed, the poison on the pipe lay dormant. And then, 3 days ago now, the situation changed again. Right, Mr. Natsume's trial, which took place here at the Old Bailey, came to an end. The trial in which the man stood accused of stabbing Miss Green in the back, but was duly acquitted. That resulted in Mr. Natsume returning to his lodgings for the first time in 2 days. And that very night, his gas stove mysteriously went out, and Mr. Shamspeare was mysteriously poisoned. In conclusion, the poison was present on the mouth, of the gas pipe. Had been put there in the victim's room for some 4 days ago earlier. Boom.
Mary!
With that new understanding, it becomes clear that this letter was all part of the plan.
What plan?
The court will recall that the note gave instructions to visit the Slug and Salad at 5 o'clock. And the recipient should tell nobody else. The reason for the instructions are now clear. To ensure that the lodger would not be at his home at the stated time.
To make sure I wasn't home?
Exactly. While you were out, Miss Green could safely slip into your room, knowing that she wouldn't be disturbed.
But you mean to say that letter
was written by Miss Green? Yes, I've already said it. It was clear as day. And in order to cover tracks, she took it away with her when she left. Just after she smeared poison over the mouth of the gas pipe in your room.
Order! Order in the court! What do you have to say for yourself, witness? Just who are you? Why did you try to kill me?
Miss Green's motive should be obvious. It's all tied up with someone whose name we've heard several times already during the course of this trial. So that's what's behind all this. Duncan Ross. Y'all know that man, Duncan Ross. That man be out there cooking. He be ballin'. You will share your apparent understanding with the court, please, counsel. Which person is behind this woman's motive for the attack on the victim's life? Duncan Ross. Duncan Ross? That's right. Before the defendant, Mr. Natsume, took up the residence in the lodgings at Mr. Garrideb's, somebody else was written in the room. Mr. Duncan Ross. I knew I heard that name somewhere before, or somewhere else. It was all over the papers a month ago, when the man died in strange circumstances at the haunted lodgings. That does ring a vague. Ah, of course, yes, I remember now. The young man that they claimed was strangled by the convict's curse, or some such. Sadly, my lord, it wasn't a curse of any kind, nor was it an accident. A man died as a result of Mr. Shamspeare blowing into the gas pipe and causing a gas leak into the room. It was murder, plain and simple.
Well, what do you know? The world is so unfair. Curses, curious deaths. That's all people care about. If it's an interesting story, they want to know. It doesn't cross their mind that real people are involved. And once they're bored, just 1 month later, once the story lost its appeal, everyone's forgotten him. You mean Duncan was...
Miss Ross was Miss Green's fiancé.
Fiancé?
You may not have known until now who Miss Green really is, Mr. Shamspeare. But she's known exactly who you are all along. Because you're her sworn enemy, the murderer who took the life of the man she was to marry.
What, Mary?
Miss Green, is it not the case that in order to exact your revenge on Mr. Shamspeare, you smeared poison over the end of the gas pipe? Say the truth. This is all quite extraordinary. Am I correct to understand that you now accuse both parties, counsel? Each on different accounts of murder? Indeed. But first, get the girl out. She needs to be called first. Then he meets a lot of charges. Attempted and actual murder. For both murders. Get them both out. But he deserves the worst punishment, though. Yes, my lord. That's correct.
Objection!
In inhaling so deeply, it appears my fledgling learned friend has taken in a lungful of dubious gas that causes his judgment to be clouded. What are you trying to? You trying to put the bars on me, bro? I'll whoop your tail. I got the case down pat. There's nothing you can do. What? What do you mean? Why would Mr. Shamspeare have wanted to kill these lodgers, as you say? You have completely failed to provide a motive to substantiate your accusation against the man.
Yes, that's right, Mr. Reaper, my liege. I have been slighted. 'Tis lies, all lies. I deny every utterance.
Buddy. You have loot. He wants to find some loot. He wants money so he can have the money for himself. Congratulations. Don't you need money? Yeah, you need money. Yeah, so you need that. Exactly. What are we doing? And you'll have to forgive me, Mr. Naruhoda, sir. But I don't intend to admit to anything either. Miss Green. I'm sure you'll think I'm being very rude, but I'm not going to be sent to the gallows for the likes of this scoundrel. My turn to cook. But you broke into the man's room. If you didn't do it to smear poison on the pipes, what was your reason?
I thought I'd have a look around, that's all.
For what? Sorry?
You're right. I suspected him. So I thought perhaps I might find some evidence or something in his room. Evidence that it was him who took Duncan's life. Oh, foulness! Oh, villainy! Oh, tyranny! Oh, brutality of a woman! But in any case, whenever I leave my room, I do turn the key in the lock. That whole place is falling apart. The locks on the doors are no different. Duncan showed me how to unlock the door with some terps and a piece of wire. Oh, awfulness! Oh, artfulness! Oh, tyranny! Oh, perfidy of a woman!
We will consider your trespassing on some future occasion, but for now, I need to get out of this case. Tell the court what you found. What evidence you searched revealed.
Well, I spotted
Oh, bro, come on. There we go.
Well, I spotted the note that I sent him lying on the floor. When I went to pick it up, I noticed something. Well, the floorboards was loose, and underneath it, I discovered the secret hiding place. Eh?
Yes, we've also discovered that hiding place.
Inside, we found a newspaper cutting, a photograph, and an empty tin box. Yes. Well, the thing is, when I found it, the box wasn't empty.
What? There was something in it?
Yes. This rather nice key. Ah! What are you doing with that?
What the?
Every ounce of color has drained from his face. Give it here! Give it to me now! It's mine! I inherited it!
What was that, witness? What did you say? You inherited it.
No,
What's all this about? He inherited that key.
It was obviously important to you, since you've gone to such lengths to hide it, so I took it. I don't know what it's for, but you took something precious from me, so I took something precious from you. I'm gonna be petty. Hall of Fame pettiness on lock. Hey, she got that down to the back. She's like, I'm petty now. So, what if it means you can't open something now? I don't care. Give it back this minute! Give it to me!
Calm yourself, witness. So Mr. Shamspeare has tried, in one case, to take the life of 2 lodgers now. Yes, his motive for doing so is the key to everything that's happened here. It's true that there appears to be no motive to support the accusation against Mr. Shamspeare at first. But considering everything we know now, I think there is actually something that could explain it. What? I need to recall every piece of evidence at our disposal. Everything we've seen and heard. Because we're kind of cooking right now. Because I'm sure that I can call a glimpse of the link that runs through all of these events. In that case, counsel, I must demand that you present evidence in support of your claim. What is it that you say can explain the motivation for the Shamspeare alleged crimes? Let's get Selden out here.
Take that!
That's an official police report, is it not? The Selden file? How did you get a hold of that?
The Selden? The now sadly deceased Mr. Ross and the defendant Mr. Natsume have only one thing linked to them, the fact that they had lodgings in the same room.
Well, yes, we know this, certainly. A room that was formerly occupied by Selden. Until, that is, he was arrested by Scotland Yard for his involvement in multiple burglaries. I see. It so happens that the convict Selden left behind one very substantial mystery when he died. The sum of £1,000 worth of loot that he stole, which as yet remains to be found. Ah, yes, of course, it's coming back to me now. It's written in this file here. £1,000 lot en route to you know what. That was how the papers summed it up. And it seems that one in particular fellow inmate was with the convict in his final moments. It's not hard to imagine Selden entrusting that inmate with his most closely guarded secret, the location of the stolen loot, and perhaps a key to unlock whatever container the valuables were in.
You mean this key is...
Mr. Shamspeare, it was you, wasn't it? You were at the capital offender's side when he died, were you not?
What are you talking about? It's a false charge, I tell you, a false charge.
The name of the inmate who was with Selden at his death isn't noted on this file. A simple telegram to the prison where he died would quickly tell us how false the charge really is. But even if that is true, why would the man be so intent on killing every subsequent occupant of the convict's lodgings? There's only one explanation for that, my lord. It was in that very room that Selden hid his loot. So it all comes out. Yes, and having established that, all Mr. Shamspeare's subsequent actions start to make perfect sense. When he let out the prison following Selden's death, he made immediately for Mr. Garrideb's lodgings in the hope of renting Selden's old room. However, the retired army man was unable to offer him the accommodation of his choice. So, because Selden's old room had already been let to someone else, Mr. Duncan Ross. Which is why Mr. Shamspeare subsequently devised this gas-based plot to kill the occupant of the room. And when he was successful, he presumably intended to inquire about switching to a newly vacant room. However, certain jittery someone has already beat him to it. Mr. Sosaki Natsume, the defendant of this case no less. So you decided to use the ploy with the gas again, did you, Mr. Shamspeare? Time to oust Mr. Natsume. All for one simple and avaricious reason. To get your hands on the 1,000 pounds of loot left behind by the dead convict. Yeah. Give it up. Give it up! He's going to beat the crap out of him. Looks like I'm gonna stuff it out before they get to stretch me neck. Listen, I want you to have me loot anything to stop the coppers from getting their mitts on it. It's hidden in the room where I was lodging when they got me. Here, this is the key to it. Take it. Always stay one step ahead, mate. See you in, I guess, Shamspeare.
It's mine.
What'd he say?
It's mine. That loot is mine.
You better crash out. Mr. Shamspeare!
It's all lies. I don't accept any of it. Why should I? After all, you don't have a shred of evidence. You can't prove I killed that fellow. Forsooth, I'm the victim here, remember? Is that right, ladies and gentlemen? If I don't admit to it, there's nothing you can do. You can't arrest me for the time being anyway. Verily, you cannot arrest a victim, can you? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, we can't arrest you yet, until we get another case for you that you cooked, but hey.
I'm so close, I just need a few more hours. I swore to myself that I'd get my hands on it, and I can almost taste it now. Do you really think I'd just give up?
There's no question about mine now. The man's guilty through and through.
But he seems so utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. I'm afraid that, however hard you press him, he'll never admit to what he's done, Mr. Narhoda.
There is a way. Pardon? There's one way I can finish him.
No.
He's already committed to the most heinous crime to get his hands on that loot, which means all we need to do is find it first. A fine plan, were it not for the fact that the police thoroughly searched the room for the following the death of Mr. Ross. If there's any at all, it must be very well hidden indeed. Without conclusive evidence, I certainly cannot rule. If only there was some way we could find the convict's loot quickly. It's the final piece of this complex puzzle. But I think we might have it in our possession already. Or rather, I think we may have something that could help us find out where that loot is. My lord. Yes, counsel. The defense would like to make a proposal about how to find the late convict's hidden loot. I believe we are in possession of something that could give us a clue as to where its whereabouts. He's cooking.
How does he know about this? He's kind of golden at the moment. I can't hold you.
It's our last chance, so it has to be worth the gamble. Besides, we've used the same technique once already. It definitely paid off then. Very well then, counsel. Let's hear you. What do you propose we could use in order to locate the hidden place of the deceased convict's halt? The handprints on the wall. Who's the best of them all?
Take that!
If I'm not mistaken, those are Mr. Shamspeare's handprints on the wall of his lodgings. That's right, my lord. Exposed as a result of the defense's, independent investigation of the scene. Based on a wonderful new discovery in the fields of forensic science by the great detective Mr. Sholmes.
A great detective? Is that some kind of joke? Do you really think I'm going to be daunted by a man with such a ridiculous title?
I think this might, I don't know if it's the girl or if that's okay.
I should think that the great bard ought to recognize such a title when he hears one, Mr. Shamspeare. perhaps we should compete for the honor of most ridiculous title. Hey, he's right there too. He's like, this guy just came to my room. He stole my thunder. Ah, 'tis Herlock Sholmes himself.
What are you doing here, great detective? Your usual haunts are the filthy back streets of the capital, are they not?
Ah, Mr. Reaper, it's been far too long. And I see your complexion has worsened since we last met. You need some suntan. Mr. Sholmes, you can't cook him like that. He might go crash out.
He does know Lord Van Zieks did. Well, enough to say something like that in any case. Mr. Sholmes, though you may be heralded as a great detective by the population at large, that does not give you the right to come up and go into my courtroom as you see fit.
If I may, my lord, Mr. Sholmes' newly developed scientific method has helped us uncover vital clues in this case already.
Clues, you say?
I call them skin prints, my lord. My method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny. In this method, or in the methods, or it's the method, by which we were able to ascertain this gentleman's gas pipe activities. You only need a small sample of something the individual has previously touched to make an indicator solution. In your case, sir, I used the teacup you have been holding elementary. So now, Mr. Naruhodo, yes, what am I to use as a sample to make the indicator solution this time?
It's gonna say.
Thank you for offering to help, Mr. Sholmes. When the convict was arrested, he was living in what is now Sasaki-san's room. We need a sample to help locate Selden's loot that's hidden in his old room. What form would that sample take? Maybe we need a person. We will need something of Selden's in order to create the indicator solution to find loot. The key. So I'll agree then, I'm assuming. If something the convict owned happens to be in the possession of someone listed in the court record. Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, your power of reasoning appears to be on the up. So, which particular person do you have in mind? From whom can we obtain a possession of the late convict Selden to create the indicator solution?
Take that!
That woman right there. Perfect. Miss Green. Miss Green. Look what we have over here. Me? What do you want with me? Give me your key. The key around your neck. I'm gonna need that, if you please. Sorry? Give me that key. Here, give me that key. That key belongs to Selden. There will be remnants of secretion from the man's skin on its surface that we could use. Very true. That is the sample we need. Using it, we could create the indicator solution required for Mr. Sholmes' skin print seeker and find out what Selden touched in the room that he used to rent. Mr. Shamspeare, as one great to another, I assure you. If the late convict's hall is hidden somewhere in his former lodgings, I shall cover it in no more than 30 minutes. You cook now. So, Mr. Shamspeare, the truth is well within our grasp now, and as such, you will never get your hands on Selden's stolen wealth. In that case, I'll gladly let Mr. Sholmes have this key. No! Give the key to me! The detective shades have it! It's over, Mr. Shamspeare. No! You're out of options now. There's only one thing left for you to do.
Admit your guilt.
Whoa. Oh, Shamspeare. Despair. Be thy name. Ow.
Yeah, all your loot is now the daggone police's now.
He's like, I'm gonna be petty.
That's crazy where he was really petty just to do that.
I've never intended to kill the man. I just wanted to drive him out of the room. That's all.
So you'd have time to find the convict's haul of stolen goods? Yet after you killed the young man, you still didn't move into the room.
I asked the landlord, of course. I pleaded with him, but he refused.
Why?
I was 3 months behind with the rent, for one thing.
Mr. Garrett really has had to put up with a lot. Or a lot to put up with.
He had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, put the room out of action for a while. And then this Japanese man swooped in at just the right moment to sign the lease. Nice lease. Poor Mr. Natsume, what an unfortunate timing. Then, 5 days ago, after the incident of Briar Road, when the Japanese fellow got himself arrested, I thought I'd finally have my chance, but it wasn't to be.
No, the scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day.
And if I remember rightly, Mr. Sholmes spent the whole day in there reading books. I couldn't even enter the room, let alone search for the loot.
Which is why on the day Mr. Natsume was acquitted, returned to his room, you once again tried your trick blowing the air to the gas pipe that feeds to the stove in his room. Unbeknownst to you, however, that action would lead you into a deadly trap.
William Shamspeare, how does it go? To be or to not to be? That is the question.
From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1.
Well, let me tell you, in your case, it's not to be. That is the answer. You deserve to die for what you've done. Huh. At first, I really did think it was just a terrible accident. I'll never forget our conversation the night before Duncan died. The gas supply and the new lodgings are a complete disaster, you know, Olive. The gas supply? Yes, the stuff always seems to go out in the middle of the night for some reason. That's no joke. They say it's the convict's curse. Oh, Duncan, please, don't stay there. I don't care how cheap it is. Alright then, if it's that important to you, I'll start looking for a new place. There are spare rooms in my house. Why don't you leave that horrible room tonight? No, I'd better not. We said we'd wait until we graduated before we told our parents, remember? But that was the last time we ever spoke. That very night he fell victim to gas. If only I had known what was going to happen, I would have insisted he left that horrible room that instant. But instead, all I've been left is bitter regret. I stopped going to school, but somehow kept drawing me back to the house on Briar Road. I saw a stooped, eastern-looking man with a mustache coming out of the house one day when I was there. He walked to the road to Grub's Grubbery for some food, so I followed him and sat myself down next to him. He had some worried-looking soup and started to pick a quarrel with the publican. That place is cursed, I tell you, cursed! The ghost of that convict who used to live there is trying to suffocate me. I wake up in the middle of the night, freezing to death because the stove has gone out. The room is full of gas and I can hardly breathe. But the pipes have been checked, no problem there. It's like I'm the problem, that's what they're thinking. But how could that be? Duggan was gone, and now this man had almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? Then I remembered a rumor I'd heard about how the gas companies go around investigating the gas installations.
A rumor? Ah, you mean...
Yes, everybody hears the stories. It seems about how they go check around to check the pipes. How anything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing air into the pipework. That's when it started. A little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind that just wouldn't go away. Was it really an accident though? Once I had the idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me day and night. So I bought this in one of the black markets in the East End. A black market? I've never been. I just heard people talk about them, and you really could buy anything you could think of in there. In some way, being able to get my hands on this so easily made me even more determined. I had to find out one way or another. Was Duncan's death an accident, or was it murder? And your chosen method for establishing the truth was simple but highly effective. Smear poison on the gas pipe you suspected on the man tampering with, and wait. If Mr. Shamspeare was innocent, nothing would come of what you've done. But if he was guilty, he would pay for his crimes dearly. I found out the name of the man suspected, William Shamspeare, and then I wrote him this little note. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anyone about this letter or the meeting. It's a matter of utmost importance. If he'd done it, I knew that would worry him enough to make sure he would go. So I waited to see if it worked. And of course, Mr. Shamspeare followed the instructions to the letter. But he met an end with the knife. I worked out where the gas pipe was straight away. So I smeared a good amount of poison I've bought around the mouth of the pipe. All the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done. That it was just some wild fantasy. Actually, no. All the time praying that that devil's work would be done, and the culprit would get his just desserts.
Judge?
Your big Topa's out there, sad. Like, why are we doing a flashlight there? Like,
3 days ago, when you were first stood in the dock before me, this whole affair seemed relatively straightforward.
Yes, my lord.
I certainly never imagined the depths of depravity that we should subsequently find lurking behind the scenes. It has been a long road, my Nipponese friend.
Oh, yes.
And one I certainly didn't emphasize walk with you. Nevertheless, together we have reached the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were. Miss Green.
Yes, my lord.
You will henceforth be stripped of your freedom and punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shamspeare.
Yes, I know.
And you, Mr. Shamspeare, you will be tried for the murder of Mr. Duncan Ross in cold blood and the attempted murder of, the other guy. And the subsequent attempted murder of Mr. Sosaki Natsume here present. You're guilty, and you're gonna have the worst sentence ever, capital punishment.
Mr. Naruhodo? Ah, yes. Yesterday, at the hospital, when you and your friends stop me from ending your life by drinking what was left of the poison bottle. I wasn't myself. I can't even really remember what was going through my mind. To be or not to be, I suppose. That's a question that's so hard to answer, it seems. Well, personally, I'm glad of your being here, Miss Green. Oh? And I'd like to believe that it's a blessing Mr. Shamspeare didn't die when he ingested the poison. For your sake, at the very least. Because now he's getting the punishment he actually deserves. Because of you, I chose life, not death. And now you've made the truth come out at last. Really, I cannot thank you enough. Oh, Miss Green.
Mrs. Osaki Natsume,
Yes, my lord.
the court declares that you are exonerated from all blame in this matter. Accordingly, I would call upon the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present their verdict of not guilty. We are in full agreement, my lord. In that case, I hereby declare the defendant not guilty.
I like how the other two didn't even say that. They're like, yeah, nah, I'm trying to get out of here.
There you go. Okay, there you go. Court is adjourned. Hiya!
2 hours and 37 minutes? Perfect. Oh, yes. Yes, at last. Divine justice duly done. Divine justice? My dear fellow, if there were a divine justice in this world, you would shave that mustache. No, this has nothing to do with my mustache. So say that a luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical prowess, Mr. Sholmes. Welcome, student, Mr. Esquire. Once again, you saved me from doom. I'm very happy to been able to help, Mr. Natsume. Congratulations on your acquittal. You're second in almost as many days. Yes, that's true. I was first acquainted with and gained affection for English literature whilst, in our great homeland empire. And then, by a twist of fate, I was brought to the land that bore the fruit of that literature. Only, the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. Try as I might, I never found my feet here. In the end, I confined myself to my room and lived life through friendly old books. You've had such a difficult time, haven't you? Ah, but a week ago now, I dragged you out of that dark, dingy room of yours, did I not? You did. And I've seen more of life in this week than in all my years to date. And for the first time, I feel like I've begun to see the true face of the English that's so far behind, been hiding from me behind the walls of the fog. My dear fellow, there is nothing special about the true face of the English as you put it. Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are humans. There are a few genuine differences. Yes, I think you're right. I finally started to see that, and I've come to understand something. I've worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that whatever our nationality, we humans all have the same hope and fears. We're all just trying to do our best to live. Well said. I've come to feel the same way, actually. Would I text about something? Here we go. Who just texted me? I think someone texted me about something, though.
So we just text about something? I don't know. There we go. Who just talking about something? There you go. Get that out of the way. Okay. I've made my decision too. I'm going to cut short my study tour here and return to Japan. What? I would too. Just when we became friends here in England. What a terrible shame. Oh, I know. That does tug at my heartstrings. It really does. I've decided I'd like to take everything I've learned here in Britain and write something of my own. A novel of sorts, I suppose. Oh my, so you'll be creating your own literature? Miss Natsume? How wonderful. Oh, well, no, I mean, I would presume to call it literature. Why not? When that is precisely the definition, Mr. Mustache. I suppose you're right, yes. It will be, in a way, be literature. But as of now, all I know is that I'd like to try my hands at writing. I have no delusions of grandeur. There we go. I, for one, would love to read your work. Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious from a battle with the Reaper. Ah, yeah, that is very true. And there's no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is a prosecutor. Desire to return post-haste to a perceived safety of your homeland is the one I quite understand. My goodness, yes. Faced with such a terrifying prospect, nobody would consider that cowardly, I'm quite sure. Okay, I'm about to leave. But that's not why I'm leaving! I mean it! And that was the case that we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now. Saki-san did return to Japan, which I definitely would too, and submitted a report about both cases to the government. It was a read on that report that Professor Mikotoba was prompted to visit the scholar. And really, at any time later, Mrs. Sato-san was given the news she must return to Japan as well. On the back of a telegram stating falsely that her father had fallen gravely ill. The only possible explanation to this comes to mind to what has happened after the trial on the following day. The day that we uncovered the loot hidden by the now deceased convict in the former lodgings. "24th of February, 10:13 a.m., Mr. Natsume's room." Oh, what then, Mr. Sholmes? How simply marvelous of you to uncover the secret hiding place in just one day. Wasn't it supposed to take 30 minutes? As I believe I told you, my dear fellows, skip prints are extremely useful in such situations. Would you agree, Gregson? You're kind of cooking, I ain't gonna hold you. Gregsy's been happily much in agreement this whole time, you know, Hurley. Happily, I think perhaps humorously might be closer to the truth. So, it transpires the man's fashioned a hiding place in the ceiling. And what's in it? What exactly is the loot? Let's look then. If you're ready, let's examine the late burglar's haul. What is that? It looks like some sort of neckband or collar. The collar is huge though. And look at all the gemstones in it. I can see why it was claimed to be worth 1,000 pounds. Perhaps I could have it as a belt. Oh, have you noticed the inside in there? There are some dark stains. You don't think they could be blood, do you? I mean, there's quite a lot of it. On second thoughts, perhaps I won't have it as a belt.
Then of course, there's this emblem here. A large letter B. And a small crown. What does it signify, do you think? Oh, I hadn't noticed that. I feel as though I've seen that emblem somewhere before. Where could it have been? That's enough of that, I think. What? What's the matter with Sholmes? And the color has drained from his face. Well, Inspector, I believe you ought to be taking this out, wouldn't you? It could be valuable evidence, after all. It must be kept safely under lock and key. Ah, yes. Get your crummy hands off that, you lot, and head over it now. Dude, it ain't that deep. I never thought I'd see the collar that large before. All those jewels certainly look to be extremely valuable. But that's not what stood out to me the most. At least not what I noticed. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar, those stains. Could those really have been blood? Well, that was a funny case, wasn't it? But it's all buttoned up now. And you look very pleased, Iris. I am. Because I'm starting to wonder what I could use as the basis of this month's salary or story in the magazine. But this case will be perfect. It's been so fascinating. You're talking about the latest installment of the Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, I presume. The mystery of the knife in the mist, and the mustached man, and the convict's curse, perhaps. I could make it a two-part story. Oh, I can't wait. A word, please, Iris. Yes, what is it, Hurley? I'm sorry, but you can't write about this case. It's out of the question. What? Why not? It's a great case. Then I shall have to insist you limit yourself to the first of your two titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear? Yes.
And so it was that the second of Soseki-san's cases became buried in obscurity. Now, looking back, I feel I understand. I can see why Mr. Sholmes forbade Iris from publishing the story. It would take a little longer before I saw the link between everything that had happened and would happen. For it wasn't until 2 months after the arrival of Susato-san's letter that events began to unfurl again, with an incident that took place at the very heart of the eagerly awaited Great Exhibition of London.
Indeed. The end. The key of knowledge. The question is, do I want to go a little bit into it just to Alright, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go a little bit into it, just not that much of it. We're gonna go a little bit into it. Alright. Okay, we're supposed to go here, right? Okay, hold up. We did 1, obviously that was with the girl. We did 2, which that was now. Okay. Let's go 3 actually. Okay, 3 is what we need to go to. Alright. Let's go a little further into it. The return of the great departed soul.
The grand end of the century Great Exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park.
I know about Hyde now.
Welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities. Very few are aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the great exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the Crystal Tower itself, brought the truth to light.
We're here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people.
Good.
The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world.
Go ahead.
Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies. And today, we showcase even more advanced technology. A glimpse into the future.
Okay.
A world first. A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine. A man will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high voltage electricity and beamed to another location. Whereupon his body will be
Where would it be at though?
by a
Or who was the
series
person?
of complex calculations, exactly as it was before.
Oh, okay. Perfect then.
In but a few moments from now, this gentleman will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air. To arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you! This one, yes. Whoa.
It doesn't look good. That's probably not what he wanted to do. 22nd of October, 9:36 a.m. Show him sweet. Okay, we could stop it here. Actually, yeah, we can actually stop it around this part right here. Actually, just be on the safe side though. But yeah, we will stop and save it here though. We got that down pack. Now we don't know who's got bodied, but we'll see that in the next time we play it and go from there. Yeah, we're gonna stop it here, and I will see y'all tomorrow, most likely. Peace and love y'all. Yee.